Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm going to be coming to you today with a mid-month general reading, May 2016, for the sign of Pisces. I apologize for having a lag in getting these out. Um, this month has been rather busy. We had the new moon in Taurus on the 6th. Jupiter went direct either the 9th or the 10th. I'm not exactly sure. Um, Mercury is retrograde in Taurus. We still have Saturn, Pluto, Mars, yeah, and Mercury retrograde. We also have a full moon coming up this weekend, the 20th through the 22nd. It is going to be a 2-day full moon. The first day it's going to be in Scorpio. Full moons are already emotional, so in a water sign, it might be uber emotional. But then on the second day, it goes into Sagittarius. And Sagittarius rules people, places, things at a distance, foreigners. It rules universities, schools, teachers, gurus. Um, with Mercury in retrograde, if you have anything that you need to discuss, especially if it's of a highly emotional nature or it may make you emotional, I would suggest that you steer clear of this weekend. Because Mercury is in retrograde, it might create a situation where you say something that you can't take back, or somebody says something to you that you misinterpret. It is a full moon, which is about an ending, so this could literally be the slip of the tongue, could end something that you may not really want to end or may not need to end for whatever reason. Same thing applies if you have to sign any paperwork. If you can hold off past this weekend, if you're in negotiations, try to. You know, things come up sometimes where you have to do it during a retrograde, in which case, double check everything, um, and think before you speak, think before you act. Now, Taurus rules the second house, which is about your self-worth, self-esteem, your self-possessions, the things that you own, the money that you make on your own, not the money that you get from somebody else, or that that they give to you. It's the money that you make yourself. It is ruled, Taurus, the second house is ruled by Venus, which covers the things of the income, beauty, love, money, and women. So maybe there will be a woman who will come into play that might be able to help you if you're going through a small challenge. Taurus rules the bull market. So if you've invested some money or you're waiting to get a payout, you might, maybe it's not going too well. Because of the retrograde, you haven't really heard anything, or maybe it's been wild fluctuations. I don't know. I haven't been able to watch anything on anything. I've been very busy. Also, the second house sits the opposite of Scorpio. So we're going to have the sun in Taurus, and then the full moon in Scorpio. And the eighth house is all about those things that you share with other people. The seventh house rules, there are 3 houses of marriage. There's the fifth house, which is what do you guys do together in a relationship? How you get along? Is it, fun loving? How do you have fun and enjoyment? It's a creativity house. It's ruled by Leo. Then we have the seventh house, which is about Libra. It is the sign of balance and negotiations. It is traditionally known as the seventh house, but basically it's a house that's not really about marriage. It is about one-to-one relationships and how you project that relationship, or how other people see you in that relationship, from the outside looking in. Um, when you want to get to the nuts and the bolts of a marriage or a relationship, that moves into the eighth house, the house of Scorpio. How do you share the resources that are there? Who inherits from me? So the eighth house rules death, taxes, uh, inheritances, windfalls, alimony, child support, those things. And the seventh house is all about the one-to-one relationships and open enemies. You've seen that relationship where when they fell in love, they were stuck together like 2 peas in a pod, and then the next time you saw them, they was ready to scratch each other's eyes out. Okay, so that's your open enemy. And this does occur sometimes. So, be careful of that energy surrounding this weekend of the full moon. If it is an open enemy, again, I would wait till after the full moon so that you can think more rationally and logically instead of coming from a place of anger and, emotionalism. The moon in Sagittarius tends to bring up a lot of anger in people. So it could either be you projecting your anger out to someone else at a distance or about something at a distance, or it could be someone at a distance projecting their anger back at you. Either way, open enemies, anger, full moons, Mercury retrograde, it's not a good mix. So just kind of take it easy. Now, let's get into, I've got cards flying out. I will tell you that I do feel, honestly, Mercury goes direct on the 22nd. It actually stations direct. And that's, the tail end of the full moon. So I do feel that some things will be moving in one respect, but it doesn't come out of its full shadow phase until June 7th. Okay. So, you might be feeling a little release of pressure. Jupiter went direct. So you may be feeling a release of pressure, like, hey, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to do something. Just kind of give it a bit, another 7 days, and then go slow from there as well. You get the full after effects of the last shadow stage, direct shadow stage of Mercury. All right, here we go. 9 cards down. General reading, the sign of Pisces. This is general. The messages may not apply. If they do not, please go back and watch your sun, your moon, and rising sign. You may find some messages there. If you see something here you'd like to know, I can't tell you from a general reading. You'll have to book a personal reading. And that is, I can tune into your own individual energies to pick up on the situation. 9 cards down. Pisces card, first one out. Now I have these 2 knights. Neptune rules Pisces. So there's Neptune, the hanged man. Well, wow. And a reference to the moon, the full moon. And this card is about your emotions and perhaps hanging on to something and not speaking about it yet. So that card could be advice. What I see is during this retrograde, some of you, we have the Mercury and Taurus card. And some of you have either walked away from something, having some financial difficulties, or maybe you've been shut out and isolated. But this is the focus in the center. Now, remember I said Venus is about the woman? Well, this is the Pisces, and we have this Queen of Wands here. So somehow maybe she comes into play. The Knight of Cups, the Strength card, the Knight of Swords, Hangman, 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. And that card has come out, I think, in the last 5 readings. And it represents Moon in Aquarius. Okay, it's called the Lord of Unstable Effort. This is like you're doing something that really ain't, gonna serve any good for you. But we can read that in 2 ways. I don't like the fact that it's sitting next to this 5 of coins here. Then I have the Devil, which is representative of Capricorn. It is ruled by Saturn, and we do know that Saturn is in retrograde. It is in retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a freedom-loving sign, spirituality, religion, education, foreigners, travel at a distance. And then I have another card, another 5. So what I'm looking at is something new coming in. Now, I don't know if this is a person. I tend to read nights sometimes as an event, but it is something being ushered in, have come in. And it's asking you to be strong. Now, this card says that, to get a handle on that, get a handle on your emotions. Okay, the lion is gregarious and he's loud and he's like, look at me. Get a handle on that and get some control over what's going on. Obviously, I think you need it because something else came in from an opposite side and kind of broke up whatever this offer was here. Happened quite quickly. This represents the third decan of Taurus. It is the Gemini card, and this could have been precipitated by the Mercury in retrograde. But now what I tell everybody about retrogrades is no matter which planet is in retrograde, you get retrogrades for a reason. Retrogrades always bring back the same situation or similar, the same person, old lovers coming back, or someone that you just met who's similar. Okay. And either you've been in this, you're back in an old situation with the past person, or you're in a new situation that's like it with the new person who's like the old person, if that makes any sense. I'm tired now. I have the Hanged Man here. Okay. And the Hanged Man is about really looking at things from a different perspective, but it can also be the card of the martyr. And I do know that I have a lot of Piscean friends, very kind, very loving, very giving, and sometimes not really able to see when something or someone really is not in their best benefit or not for their highest good. Neptune comes in to give a quality of dreaminess, romanticism. It can obscure things, okay? And this does tell me that this is something similar. It's something from the past, something that you felt you couldn't get away from, perhaps. Maybe it's not the same person and same situation, but it's awfully familiar, okay? But for those of you who've been able to embody this quality, either you walked away or someone else walked away from you. And it's because you really didn't have any clarity on whatever that situation was. Okay. And maybe that person confused you some, or maybe you confused that person and they walked away. Okay. But something is not quite right with the Seven of Swords. And I don't like to always give this card a bad name because it does, one of the archaic interpretations is a house move. But nevertheless, this is somebody being clever and playing mind tricks. And they could perhaps be taking advantage of you, Pisces. They may have taken some money from you in a roundabout way. Maybe they had you involved in some kind of scheme. This is like a pyramid scheme or something. And you're just now realizing they showed up quite suddenly with this offer, and you jumped on it. It's been perhaps a delay in hearing about them, and maybe your spidey senses are telling you that something's not quite right. But this is brought about by you feeling as though you can't break away from a situation, or you can't get away from something or someone. And really, those two people at the base of that, all I got to do is take the, hold on one second. Please come get the dog. The chain off their neck and walk away from the situation. If you're still stuck in it, it's because you choose to be. That's why you need to view it from a different perspective. A couple of people that I read for with the pay what you want kept going, oh, well, the person won't let me go. That's, if they don't got you chained up and bound and gagged in the basement, you can walk away. Now, granted, if this is a work situation, you may not can just up and be like, screw you, and walk away. You got to plan it out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you can still walk away. What I do feel, though, is that there are other outside people involved. I'm not looking at this per se as a romantic relationship, although I do have this card, okay, and this card. And this could be someone bound by either drugs or alcohol or sex. But some kind of third thing has come in. Venus and Aquarius. And them two don't mix, because Venus is all about love and beauty and everything being sweet. And Aquarius is very cool and very rational. So either a third party stepped in. It's called the Lord of Defeat. And somebody has walked away with something of some kind of value. And that's what Venus is about. Venus asks you to come in and get in touch with your values, What do you value? What do you place a premium on? But this is related to you yourself, not something else that you have with someone else. Then I have this Queen of Wands, who represents a fire sign. Now, I don't know if this is for a Piscean male or if it's for a same-sex couple, but I see that through an offer that has come through or about or something surrounding an event with a fire sign female has really not gone very well, okay? Now, this could also be the energy of Sagittarius coming up, okay? I'm just throwing that out there, but it feels like it kind of feels more like an energy. That's what it kind of feels like. It's like you can't get away from it. Maybe maybe it is a person really. I'm getting that it's kind of like both. For some of you, it's going to be the energy of this fire queen. For some of you, it's actually this woman. And for all intents and purposes, it looks as though she came in under the guise of one thing, and now it has completely morphed into something else. I'm going to take some Sabilas on this because I'm kind of, it kind of like it started out okay, then it kind of went downhill from there. But yet she sits at the exit as if she's walking away with something. This moon card. Now, I don't know if this is a new relationship that has started, and maybe some of you have found out that the person that you're involved with, Pisces, has all along had some kind of attachment to this person, because the High Priestess can represent the unseen woman. Let's pull some Sabilas on this. Maybe this person has withdrawn their offer. The Knight, the Five of Coins. You know, if this was a financial situation, maybe that person had to pull back because they themselves ended up having some perhaps unseen difficulty. This arriving quite suddenly to break this up here. That Seven of Swords, the Knight and the Seven of Swords, I don't like that. It goes from the Knight to the 7 to the 5. 2 5s is a disruption in a material sense, in a real sense, and having to do, you know, and now your thoughts are up in arms. Lord of Defeat, the Lord of Defeat. That's what the 5 of Swords is called. And the 7 of Swords is called the Lord of Unstable Effort. As if whatever it was that you had going on, it turned into a hot mess in some way, shape, or form. Let's look at what this, I want to first look at what the Knight of Swords is telling me. This is a fast moving, something that occurred quite quickly. It's like somebody either rushing in to stop something or rushing in to break it up, you know, or to block it. Yeah, stop it or block it, or Gemini, it came in quickly. The Falsità, the Mercante, and the Gran Consolazione. So whatever this thing was, whomever this was, whatever this news, whatever this message was, first of all, it tells me that you did not see it coming, but there could be something nefarious about the motives are not pure. Now, I don't know how this relates. Are the motives not pure in terms of someone coming in to rush and block this? Or does it have to do with this business person, this man who's contemplating moving forward in some way, shape, or form? This card is about negotiations as well. This Mercante is a business person and the future success. And this card with this card says that there's an unseen something about this. And maybe whatever news that you got, maybe it came as a shock to you. Like you were about to go into something and then you got some news and you were like, what? And you had to stop. Okay. But it would seem to me that this thing is going to continue out through May, perhaps into after the Mercury retrograde. Now, let's look at what this whole line, what the Five of Coins says. Yes, whatever this thing was, if it was some type of financial venture or literally somebody shutting you out, or maybe you had to shut someone out, we can say that in the past it was a success. Or sometimes this card can speak to someone being too proud or too haughty, you know, being stuck up. And somebody saying, you know, I'm kind of tired of that. I'm not going to put up with that anymore. So it comes to an end. Okay, or maybe, you know, being a prima donna, maybe you were spending too much money. I don't know. Maybe somebody around you was behaving in this manner. The Devil. Being bound, limited, restricted. This card is the Doctore. Okay, like you tried to get some help for this. The Conversazione. There's been conversation about it. And like somebody says, well, you know, I'm going to go get some help. But this card says that they're still wrapped up in that situation. They have not walked away from it. I want to look at the 5. You walked away from someone because I think you found out quite suddenly that the person has been lying. Disgrazia, the Tower card. The Dispiacere. Maybe this guy walked away from you because, well, you know, if I got to straighten up, you know, I don't need you. So I'm going to go on and go to someone who's going to, quote unquote, let me be me. I don't know what this is. This is not a house move. And this is someone who is perpetrating something behind your back, Pisces. In fact, again, they're chained. It has been going on, quote unquote, the entire time. A reunion. Now, I wonder if it's getting back together with this person because she mirrors the Devil, mirrors this, mirrors that. A sudden return. You know, them retrogrades bring people back like that. And someone who has been thinking about it or who has thought about it, and they are in the process of making their move, but right now they're creeping. Okay? They're creeping. And you've talked about it before, but you're going to realize that it's really like you're talking to the wall. Limineo, and this is a past relationship, one that was of extreme importance. Servizio, some kind of help. This card is always positive. And then the Casa. Now I'm going to read this card in 2 ways. This line. This is either about someone you just found out is still seeing somebody that they had told you a long time ago they were no longer seeing, and they're about to get back together. Or it could be, remember I said this is about a woman may be able to step in and help you. It could honestly mean that there's a female of a fire sign that you have a close bond with, who can help you in this situation regain some security in whatever manner that means. This is the house, but it also looks like some kind of like a bank or some kind of institutional. In other words, this person may have some knowledge that they can share with you. So it could really be that this queen is two things. It speaks to, in one regard, somebody creeping around, fixing to get back together with this Queen of Wands, and or it speaks to a woman who can help you sort all this out. Let's take a look and see what the High Priestess is trying to tell us. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is somebody who doesn't tell you everything. She's not going to tell you unless you ask. And first, she has to deem you worthy. But she knows things. And a lot of times she sits in quiet observance and watches. She's not a very demonstrative person. Well, I have the two queens, the two knights and the queen. I don't know what to tell you about this. The three cards are the Donati. Again, this thing of, kind of safety and security, the home life on the High Priestess. So this is some type of hidden wealth, hidden security, hidden something hidden. Again, a message coming through, and whatever this message is, again, it's going to make you quite sad. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out for you Pisceans. This is quite the interesting spread. Again, something coming up around this full moon. Then the Mercury goes direct, so I think that's why I'm seeing these cards of messages and news coming in, revelations, so to speak, secrets coming out. That's what I'm getting. There's some kind of secret that's going to come out that's going to alter the landscape in some way. Either it is completely about this queen coming back, perhaps suddenly surprising you because you thought it was over with, or it is about, because see, look, I have the falsità, the prigione, the limoneo. This was hidden. It's always been there. It's static. It's always been there. Then I have the mercante, riunione, dono de servizio, as if the cards are saying this guy wants to go ahead and go and do this. The gran consolazione, pensiero, and casa. And because this guy is thinking back on what the success was, or wishing, dreaming of it, I don't know what to tell you. This is a different spread. I think the Aquarian one was even stranger. And I don't know if maybe you're dealing with an air sign person, and suddenly you find that there's a fire sign in the mix. But it's like with this Devil card and the three cards that have come out, it's like you done talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, and you've tried to help. You thought the situation had changed, but this guy's sneaky, been doing stuff behind your back. With this Seven of Swords, with this Five of Swords, with the Disgrazia and the Falsità. I don't know what to tell you. I do hope the messages helped, Steer clear of that full moon, Pisces. Namaste.